that President Bill Clinton is right on the money. Isn't it time to fix the fiscal tax cliff, give business some certainty, and stave off recession? Here now we have House members Peter Welch, Democrat from Vermont, and Nan Hayworth, Republican from New York. Peter Welch, I think Clinton, by the way, Larry Summers had the same thing to say. By the way, at this point, half of the major opinion makers in the Democratic Party agree with the getting rid of the tax cliff and disagree with their own president, Peter.
Well, there was picking and choosing among the Republican leaders who were delighted to hear tax cut in President Clinton's lips. But let me tell you something. He clarified that, number one. Number two, what I think we need to do is what President Clinton did, which was a balanced approach. His budget vote that he won by one vote, Vice President Gore's vote, raised taxes and it lowered spending. It was a balanced approach. It led to 20 million new jobs in 3 years of surpluses. And that's what I am arguing for. We need a balanced approach where the Pentagon contributes, where we cut spending and we raise revenues. That will give the certainty. It will deal with debt and it will boost the economy and growth in the economy.
See, Nan Hayworth, with all respect to my friend Peter Welch, I can't think of a worse time to raise taxes on anybody at any point. And this is why I admire Clinton. He sees the 1.9% GDP. He sees the lousy 69,000 jobs number. All he's saying is extend this thing for a while until we can have tax reform. I mean, he gets it. He absolutely gets it. Why doesn't President Obama get it, Nan Hayworth?
Because President Obama has a very different idea for the U.S. economy. As we all know, Larry, the only way we are going to get growth is by cutting taxes and assuring that the climate is going to get far better for our businesses, small and large. And the only way to do that is to make sure they know they're not facing a fiscal cliff in January 2013. This is a very different economy than we had when President Clinton was president. We have a massive debt.
The point that President Clinton makes is balance. That's really the key here. And what we have in the Republican Ryan budget is all cuts, more tax cuts. By the way, those tax cuts are weighted at the high end.
We're trying to...
And that's not going to put that's not going to put money in people's pockets that they're going to go spend on the economy. We're having an argument right now where we're on the edge of having student loans double from 3.4% to 6.8%. That's a hammer blow to the middle class. That's the kind of thing where we should be investing money.
Peter,
Go ahead,
the best
Nan.
thing we could do, but Peter, the best thing we could do for the middle class is assure that they can have jobs. And right now we have unemployment that has been above 8% for 35 straight months. So-called stimulus has done nothing for our economy except damage it. We desperately need growth, and we need to assure our businesses that the climate will be friendly for them. It's not now.
And you know what? I'm with you on the growth part. That absolutely has to be a key ingredient if we're going to work our way out of the fiscal situation that we're in. But growth is a balanced approach. You can't have a Ryan budget where you increase Pentagon spending and break the deal we made on the sequester, lower taxes primarily for the high end where you're not helping the middle class, and where you're cutting things like student loans and making it more expensive for our kids to go to school, and they graduate with an albatross of debt around their necks. That's a prescription for middle class oppression, not middle class relief.
You're absolutely right that our students are facing an albatross of debt with very little prospect of having jobs that will help them get out of that debt. The main thing we need to do is grow the economy, and the dollars that we don't take in taxes go to growth, and that's what we need. Everybody needs to take that balanced approach, which is to relieve our taxpayers, make sure that those dollars stay in the economy, because right now we're way out of whack. Government spending in peacetime has never been higher as a percent of GDP than it is now.
Well, I disagree with that. Our revenues are the lowest they've been since the Eisenhower years, and the real key that I talk to business people about is where's the demand. If consumers are buying, if they have money in their pocket, if they have a job, you're right about that, Nan, they'll be spending their money. So doing things like making student loans twice the rate at what they're at now.
Peter, with all due respect, Peter Welch, I got to tell you, businessmen, businesswomen, they all want some certainty. They are pulling back on hiring right
Larry,
now.
we're the problem on certainty. Congress is dysfunctional.
This is not the moment to have an obsession, which I think President Obama has, about taxing rich people.
This is not right.
The moment.
This has nothing to do with an obsession.
And you can have your reforms. But
you know, Larry,
now, this is not the moment. You're playing with fire, and that's why Bill Clinton had the recession story right. You're playing with fire.
This is is where I agree with Nan. The obsession we should have is with strengthening the middle class. They are getting hammered. They have been, by the way, for the past 20 years. Wages are stagnant. In the last 20 years, people have not seen their take-home pay go up.
We're out of time. We're out of time. You guys are great. House members Peter Welch and Nan Hayworth, thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Peter.
Here are the poll results.
Thanks, Nan.
The Scott Walker mean decision.